Hello, lovely people. This video is the first in a series on the impact of narcissism. Now, there is so much literature, information, and support available on this subject. So I'm just going to focus on the energetic aspect. What happens to our energy when we are impacted by a narcissist, what we can do about it. So, very briefly, a narcissist is somebody who is broken, who is detached from their sense of self. Their ego is running the show. And there's a whole spectrum of narcissists, and there's two sort of main types. There's the overt narcissist, that kind of grandiose, it's all about me in a very loud, domineering way kind of person. And then there's the covert narcissist or vulnerable narcissist, and they're someone who, I always think of them as being like that victim person of, it's not my fault, but again, it's all about me, but it's the sob story is sort of the way they gather attention. And all narcissists work on supply or light or energy. So because they essentially are broken, and we could go into 20 videos on what makes a narcissist and all of that. So I'm not going to focus on that right now. But essentially, as this sort of broken being, they cannot draw upon that light and energy and sense of worth and love and joy and all those things, that really wonderful energy that we have, that life force that we carry within us. Theirs is depleted, or the supply to themselves is broken. And so they look for it in others. They seek it from outside of themselves. And that is why all narcissists seek connections with others in lots of ways, shapes, and forms that will bring them supply. And that is where we come to the subject of today's video, death by 1,000 cuts. Because when you are in a connection of any kind with a narcissist, they may be your boss, colleague, friend, you may be in a relationship with one, they may be a family member, parent, so on and so forth. When you are interacting and particularly when you have a deepening connection with a narcissist, they will drain you. They are the energy vampires. And the key, though, to understanding the true impact is to realize that it's not sort of a one-off, they're an energy vampire, and but it happens over time. And the degree to which you will be depleted is not to be underestimated. And I feel that this is a really, really important point, that anyone that's had any kind of interaction with a narcissist that's been we're always negatively impacted by them, we underestimate, and I speak from personal experience, we underestimate the full-blown aspect of the energetic attack that we have been under. And that is what I mean by death by 1,000 cuts. It really is. And so I've got some cards. I thought I'd run a bit of a card flick to tell a story to make this video a bit more interesting. I've got some cards from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck by Kim Kranz. So that expression, come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly, comes to mind when I think of this card. And that is how a narcissist works. They lure you in. They're often charming. You will often feel a real spark or connection with this person. They love bomb you in whatever shape or form that takes, whatever your connection is with this person. They love bomb you. And you are lured in. And the other reason this works really well, this sort of analogy of the spider's web, is because it's the death by 1,000 cuts, and it's an intricate pattern or intricate web of interactions that happens that brings you to the point where you go, I'm at death, I'm on my knees, or you have that moment of, oh my goodness, this is just dreadful. We'll get to that. It's the tower moment, which I have got a card for. So how did you get there? You'll often look back and be, you've got to have compassion for yourself. You've got to realize that this happened incrementally. It's this whole intricate web that has been spun unknowingly around you. And before you know it, you're there. So you get pulled into the web. This is sort of the death by 1,000 cuts. So there's a couple of ways. They draw your light by, yes, they literally feed off your light because they don't possess it themselves. So you will get that. You'll feel tired, drained. You're always having to sort of, you're the one who makes things better for, you're sort of cleaning up their mess a lot of the time. So you'll feel energetically drained. You don't get a lot back if you really think about it. Really think about your interaction, and you don't really get a lot back. And the other way they do it is, it's the gaslighting and things that people talk about. A narcissist is really, really good at pinpointing your shadows, since this is, and it's that whole walking on eggshells phenomenon of they will zone in. They have a laser beam focus ability to zone in on the things that you may feel vulnerable about, or, your deepest, darkest secrets in a way. And they will flip the cards on you and they will betray you. So you will tell them a secret. You will, express how you feel, that you may be frightened or unsure about something, and they will be the person who says, oh, I'll help you, I'll support you, I'll help you do it, and then they're nowhere to be seen, or worse, they throw you under the bus. And so it's this walking on eggshells phenomenon, and this is part of, these are very severe cuts that happen in that walking on eggshells, because this is where you don't know where the arrow, in this case the sword, you don't know when you are going to be stabbed in the back. Because 1 minute they're charming and the next minute they're stabbing you in the back in whatever way, that shape or form that takes. And that is because, a narcissist wears a mask. They are the ultimate mask wearer because they are the broken person. They present a facade to the world, to you, and to themselves as well. A narcissist is someone who lacks empathy. They lack the ability to take responsibility for themselves. They don't have a true sense of self, which is why they're looking for it outside of themselves. They're looking for it in you, and they're trying to steal that from you. And so when that mask drops, when you get too close to a narcissist and their mask drops, it's ugly. And another way that you will know if someone is a narcissist is the dead eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. And remember that, that. And when you look in someone's eyes. And I have heard so many people comment, including myself, when you're dealing with a narcissist, people so frequently talk about their eyes. And this is why, because the eyes are the window to the soul. They're wearing a mask, but the eyes don't lie. Energy doesn't lie. And in their eyes, you will see that they are, next card, the brokenness. You will see the brokenness of that person. But coming back to you, and this death by 1,000 cuts, this is how you start to feel. So this is the depletion of your energy. This is the card of a broken heart. It's the card of dreams, broken dreams. You thought that this person was going to be a great friend. You thought that they were the love of your life. You thought that they were going to be that boss that really helped you take a step up in your career, and they've betrayed you at every turn, and not often in a overt, large way. Like I say, death by 1,000 cuts. They undermine you. And there's no remorse from this person. They are the self-entitled person. They are the, it's all about me. Whether they are the overt or the covert narcissist, they are self-entitled. And the person that pays that price is probably you. And so this is where you end up. And getting my cards sorted. You start to feel isolated. You start to feel distanced from joy. They start to put the light out in you. These are the cuts, right? The wands here. This is what I mean. The depth of the depletion is often underestimated. And a really good thing to do is to put up boundaries. Be the hermit. And I love this card. You see there's the torch within, and that's what you need to do. Narcissists lack boundaries because they have this lack of self. They innately don't understand boundaries, and because also they're stealing your energy, right? So they are the energy thief, the energy vampire. So they don't want to have boundaries. Why would I want those? So the best thing you can do is have boundaries. And here's the Tower card. Actually needed it earlier. However, you will be in a tower with this person. And it could well be that you're in a tower for some time while you work out how you are going to get out of this. But you can. And just as it's death by 1,000 cuts, realize that it's a process for you to detangle yourself, and that is okay. The most important thing is to have that compassion and understanding for yourself. You are dealing with a case of the light and the dark. You are the light here. They, the narcissist, are the dark. Very appropriately, there's a sword in the middle. And remember that the light wins. But remember that they have really, really depleted you. They have really taken a lot from you. And so this is where you reignite that fighting spirit within yourself. You reignite it. And you have hope that you will be free, and you start to move towards the rainbow. You start to make a plan. This is my card of, I'm going to go after what I really want. That's what you do. And you're heading for your 10 of Cups, your happily ever after. But as you do so, start from a point where you remember that you're in a web. And so be gentle with yourself as you start to detangle that web. And instead of being, a web of unhappiness and betrayal, you will start to weave your own web. But that is the phenomenon of the death by 1,000 cuts that happens when you are dealing with a narcissist. Lots of love and light to you. Thank you.